Yeah, I mean we're excited to be back in the playoffs. I think that's some pride that we have in there, the consecutive playoff appearances, but also sense an opportunity. You know, we've seen throughout the year that we have a really good squad, a very deep squad that's capable, and so it's an opportunity to achieve something with this team. So hopefully this little break has given us enough time to get some guys' injuries taken care of. But no, we're excited. We're excited for Tuesday.
You've obviously been through the playoffs a bunch. How much of a role does form at the end of the regular season end up playing, or is it getting totally thrown out?
I think that's more people making a big deal out of it. You know, it's you try to every game, whether it's the beginning of the year or the end of the year. You know, notoriously we had bad beginnings of the year, but it wasn't because we wanted to. You know, we try to come out and start off on the right foot and win games, and we just weren't capable of doing so. And historically, we had good runs going into the playoffs, but you know, I think the hardest is if you're maybe at the very, very end of a long, good run, because I think the pressure just keeps mounting and keeps mounting and keeps mounting. And yes, in the playoffs, you know, it's a win or go home, but it kind of takes a lot of the pressure off the opponent if a team comes in so exceptionally hot, right? With that being said, I think we have home field advantage, so it's a way of looking at it too. But these are pressures or advantages, however you want to look at them, and I'd rather look at them as advantages, because otherwise you're going to start talking negatively to yourself, and that doesn't have a good impact on how you prepare for the game. So we're good. We still have the quality. We didn't go into the playoffs with a huge push like we usually do, but the quality remains. We're a good team, and we're hungry to achieve something with this team.
The team has struggled on set pieces, especially late in the season. From your role, from your position, how can you help alleviate that?
Yeah, I mean it's all in training, because in the game, you know, I can be screaming as much as I want. People can't really hear me anymore. So, and quite frankly, what it comes down to at the end is individual responsibilities too, right? I mean, if I have a man-on-man, and at the very least I have to bump that guy. We cannot have free guys running into boxes, and so we have to take a bit more pride in our defending, and notoriously set pieces, you know, especially corners. They tend to happen because, you know, someone made a last-ditch block or a keeper made a save, and it's a sense of relief, and that's when you mentally can get caught napping a little bit. And unfortunately, that's been the case. But we're well aware of that. We're trying to make sure, me included, that, you know, when we do have that sense of relief while we just dodged one, that no, it's not a moment to switch off. It's make sure that we're switched on and we don't make any mental errors.
Speaking of that mental state, RSL has that chip on their shoulder. We're the underdog. It's very easy for them to come up and go in all cylinders right off the bat. What weapons do you guys have mentally to come into this game right on?
Again, it's just a matter of how you look at it. You know, you could also say that they're the hot team coming in, so the pressure's on them that way. So they're coming off a high, the huge result. So look, we know that they're a good squad. We know what their strengths are. We know where maybe we can look at them and try to exploit them a little bit. But they're probably going to look at us the same way. You know, they know we're a good team. They know we're a good team. We can hurt them as well, and they probably have a look at the things that they think are weaknesses for them. So we're going to treat it with the utmost respect. We appreciate the fact that we're at home and we get to play this game at home. We want to make that advantage count, but it'll be a good game. You know, arguably one of the best right backs in the league on that team. You know, Krejlock and in the middle, and their captain as well. They're very, very skilled players. So we know that they're a good squad. So we just got to make sure we're well prepared. That's why we're out here working hard, and then we got to take care of business on Tuesday.
Brian, it's a new week. You got some guys back. What's Ricky like today?
Good. It's not raining. Sun poked out. All about being competitive on the first day back, so it was good. Real good.
You get a couple of guys that weren't with the team, but they also, they got the national team training and experience, so they didn't get a lot of minutes. How could you use that to your advantage?
Well, is it an advantage or not? If they go somewhere and they train and train and train, they don't play, sometimes that can work as a disadvantage. We know they were well taken care of by their respective national teams. But, if they're not going to play, it would have been better to be here with the group so we could work on some things, of course. But the fact of the matter is, this club is a big club. It's a massive club, and we have national team players. And we have the ability to push players up to their national team in the case of your country. And so all of that, to me, is a good distraction. And when they come back, after having not played, they're usually chomping at the bit to get back out on the field. And that's usually internal by the players. They want to play because every player just wants to play.
Looked like the things you wanted to accomplish this past week, or some of it, without giving away the game plan, and how'd that process go this past week?
Well, the last 6 training days that we had, when some of the major pieces were gone, it was more about individual development, small groups, different specific areas to the field, and a lot of reminders. Just, hey, this is what we did good earlier in the year. This is how we started the year off in preseason, defending like this, and individual defending, and some of those things. And then today's training leading up into the game will be more about the group and how we do the tactics. And, we had to reassess everybody that was here. We'll assess how they made it through training. And then we'll have to pick a lineup. And then once we know the lineup, then we'll go through the tactics. So still some steps to take.
You feel like you liked having this time to do all that stuff? Or would you have rather just gone right into I know the form wasn't where you wanted it at the end of the year, but maybe...
Well, we'll see. If we come out sharp and hungry, I'm going to say yes, and it was worthwhile. If we come out flat and, a little disjointed, then I'll say the break was terrible.
How's Nico?
Nico's good. He came out here, jogged around a little bit, so he's got to be on a very specific ramped up timeline. But he was out here.
Dranda, Raul, and JP all look like they were full in. Is that right?
I told you guys they were going to be in full.
How follow was the finals game the other day? Can you explain just how crucial his role for you guys?
Yeah. What I would say is that, again, I'll start it. I think I answered this the other day. I apologize, Matt, you weren't around. But, what is MVP, most valuable player? A lot of times it's the goal scorers and, or the goalkeeper, all of that. The guys that, get paid big bucks. JP has been most valuable player to this team in all of the subtle, small, but important ways to this team. Now, his contributions to the, goal of the year category, goals and assists, 2 goals, assist to Jimmy Medranda, so you can use that. His defending this year has been very, very good. His ability to get the ball from here up to the attackers has been very, very good. So it just depends. Do you want the guy that scored the most goals in the league, or do you want the guy that's actually most valuable to their specific team?
Christian describes him as somebody who's comfortable playing a number of different ways to control a lot of different roles.
Yeah.
Kind of blessing.
Well, it's kind of interesting that Christian would say that because he's kind of the same. They're both very smart soccer players. And that always gives you, as a coach, it always gives you a, good feeling when you know that you have guys that can, take the ebbs and flows of the game and adjust. So, he's shown he can do that over the course of this season and even last season. So it's all down to JP and who he is.
Brian, you told us last week that you were going to have your own assessment and MRI on Javier Arriaga. Did you get the results? How's he doing?
Javi was not out here today for the entire warm-up or for the entire practice, but he was out here for the warm-up. We'll ramp him up more tomorrow and try and get him ready for Tuesday.
Any Any updates on Nuhu?
Nuhu, again, airline travel these days is not good. So the only reason why he's not here out on the field doing the warm-up was because his flight was delayed. He'll be out on the field tomorrow. You guys will get a medical update as soon as we figure out exactly when we see him. But he told me via WhatsApp that he's fine, 100% ready to play.
I know that you have some veteran guys, and you know that they know how important this game is. It's one, go home. But have you done anything differently with this new concept of just one game, you know, for this playoff run? In terms of talking to the guys, knowing that it's just going to be a different type of...
No.
Nothing.
I mean, Nico, we treat every game like a final. I know it's hard to say that a game on March 3rd at the beginning of the year is the same as this playoff game. I get it. But the messaging from us is the same. Every game is important. Every competition is important. Yes, each game has little nuances. There might be a little extra pressure in this game. We can talk about that. But as far as the messaging is concerned, as far as what those guys believe, they believe that they can win every game.